will become empty and detached of worldly matters. That's not always the case. For one of our teachers, Shaykh Mohammed Aslam, he informed us of a story, and he said that there was a businessman in a city and he wanted to travel to another city, and before traveling, he came to an elderly man that he knew. He came to an elderly man that he knew, and he said to him, he said, I'm traveling to such and such a city, make dua for me, for my travels. And the elderly man said, when you get to that city, you shall find, ask for a man with such a name. And when you reach this man, ask him to pray for me. So the businessman said, that's fine, I'll do that for you. So when he reached this other city, the first thing that he wanted to do was fulfill the want of this elderly man. So he went around asking for this person. And they said to him, why do you want to know him for? He's the richest billionaire around. Right? He's the richest billionaire around. It's going to be difficult reaching him. He says, I have to reach him. So anyway, he gets to his palace. And the servants outside, and he has to go through the secretary and book an appointment. At last, he reaches this man who lives in an enormous palace. This man who lives in this enormous palace, he meets him, and the businessman says, I've come from this city, and an elderly man with this name is giving you salam, is asking for your dua. So this man in the palace, he accepted the salam and replied to the salam, and then he raised his hands and he said, Oh Allah, remove dunya from the heart of that old man. Remove dunya, remove this world and its desires and its wants from the heart of that old man. And the businessman, he started to scratch his head and think, while you're the billionaire, you're the man who's living in this palace, he's an old man who has nothing, living on the streets. But he was too frightened to say anything. He didn't want to comment. So he left. He done his business and he came back to his city, and he came back to the old man. And the old man said, so did you find him? He said, yes, I did. And I gave him the salam and he prayed for you. But he said, I was surprised at the dua that he made for you. And the old man said, what was the dua that he made for me? He said, Oh Allah, remove the desire of this world from the heart of the old man. And the old man began to cry. The old man began to cry, and he said to the businessman, he said, he has it in his hand and I have it in my heart. He has the dunya in his hands and I have it in my heart. I don't have it in my hands, but my desire, my wants, and my heart is just taken up by the dunya. Whereas he has it in his hands and spends it in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He has it in his hands, but he doesn't allow it to reach his heart and overcome his heart. Right? So you have two types of people. You have those like the Sahaba and like the great awliya.